Creative Pro Wrestling fans, I am longtime independent wrestling fan Robert. Top Guys Only. It was a very good show and great way for Creative Pro to make its return to the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York. We started out with what was called a kickoff show, well, basically a pre-show match, as it was a six-man tag team action, as we saw Will Strauss join forces with Jay Macias and Pat Fitzpatrick, Queens Gets the Money, QGTM, as they did battle with TK Wild, El Magnifico, and the Outdoorsman, Cliff Marshall. Good match these six men had, and Strauss tried to take charge of his team in the matchup. We ended up seeing Cliff Marshall, El Magnifico, and TK Wild defeat Will Strauss and QGTM at 4 minutes 17 seconds. Then it was on to the main show as we kick off with Phil Cardigan challenging the artist Jake Lang for the television championship. At one point, Cardigan got a hold of his coffee and had some of that pretty early in the match. Jake got a hold of the whatever kind of cup that is. It's not a coffee mug. And drank the rest of it seemingly, because at one point it was laying down in the ring and there was no coffee left in there, and Phil tried to drink more, but he was surprised to see there was no more in there. Good opening matchup this wound up being, and the artist Jake Lang defeated Phil Cardigan at 8 minutes 25 seconds to retain the television championship. Next up was initially a five-way matchup, as was supposed to be a five-way matchup, as it was Tristan Kyle versus the debuting Love Doug versus Jay George with, I forgot his guys' names, the two guys who accompanied the ring, his crew, his production crew, versus the sweeper Eddie Privetti for the Mayhem medal. Initially it was supposed to be a five-way match with the Big O, but I don't know why he didn't make this event. The sweeper Eddie Privetti defeated Tristan Kyle, Jay George, and Love Doug to retain the Mayhem medal at 5 minutes 20 seconds. Up next was a submission match, as we saw the man who, in my opinion, just can't get a break in Creative Pro Wrestling, Liam Davis, as he went up against the Rocker Boy, Nick Robles, who hit the ring to Twisted Sister's I Wanna Rock! Forgot exactly what kind of move it was, but Nick Robles made Liam Davis tap out in the submission match to pick up the victory at 10 minutes 17 seconds. The next matchup we saw was a semifinal match of the tournament to crown Creative Pro Wrestling's first ever women's champion, as Little Mean Kathleen took on the Latina Spice Nat Castle, accompanied ring by Sebastian Amor. Kathleen had things going her way. Castle, she tried to blow or throw that Latina Spice into Kathleen's eyes, but it caught Sebastian Amor instead. I forgot what Kathleen did. She had Nat Castle down for the pin, but all of a sudden, before the 3 count was made, out came Uzi, not Uzi, Uzi Sucio. I forgot how he spells his first name. He pulls the referee out of the ring, and I forget exactly how, but Latina Spice Nat Castle defeated Little Mean Kathleen to make it to the finals to advance in the Women's Championship Tournament, and she's now in the finals, and apparently now Uzi Sucio, I guess, is now going to be hanging with both Nat Castle and Sebastian Amor. Up next was, I forgot to mention, did I say it? Yeah, Nat Castle defeated Little Mean Kathleen at 8 minutes 22 seconds. Okay, then it was time for the 10-man tag team match, as Steve Somerset and Steven Azure, the Even Stevens, joined forces with the tag team champions, VSK and Eric James, the Adrenaline Express, and the heavyweight champion, the Dime Piece, Aaron Rourke, as they did battle with Bobby Orlando, the Midlife Express, Kevin Tibbs and CPA, the most professional wrestler, Brian Myers, and the world-class maniac, Eric Young. Midlife Express, they actually hit the ring to, of course, still came out to Creed's My Sacrifice, and CPA was singing to the ring, and as I was also singing through my megaphone, and this one lady in the blue sitting in front of me, I don't know if she she was kind of like, I wouldn't say she screamed, but she kind of enjoyed my singing, it seemed. Fun matchup which saw Bobby Orlando, Brian Myers, Eric Young, and the Midlife Express put down Aaron Rourke, the Even Stevens, and the Adrenaline Express, as we saw not a single, not a double, not a triple, not even a quadruple, but a, I guess, quintuple pile driver? Orlando, CPA, Tibbs, Myers, and Young all hit a pile driver on every member of the team to win the matchup. And they were victorious at 12 minutes, 45 seconds. At that point, they had gone to intermission. We come back, and out comes Bryce Donovan, and he notices Cal Starvins. Starvins. Must have been changed from starving. In the crowd, wanting Bryce to sign this petition to bring Evil Kip back to Creative Pro Wrestling. And Bryce is about to seemingly sign sign that petition, but out comes Creative Pro Wrestling General Manager Ariella Nix, the answer to your prayers, and she comes out with Leo Sparrow and the Phoenix GKM, the Birds of the Sun, and she's saying, I'm the general manager, Bryce Doll, you don't get to decide who gets to return or not, and all this other stuff. Hold that thought, folks. As I said, General Manager Ariella Nix, she came out with the Birds of the Sun, and she says to Bryce Donovan, I'm the GM, you don't make decisions like that. And she said, seeing that you're here, you're prepared to wrestle, you could have a match right now against the Birds of the Sun, and it's a handicap match. And the match got underway. At one point, as Bryce was trying to fight off both birds, he was actually reaching for a tag team partner, but it was actually, he's reaching for Cal Starvins, who was in the crowd with the petition. And eventually, I forgot, I think a few times, I think Bryce got his hands on the petition, but he was attacked by the birds out on the floor. Cal had gone past the rail at security, stopped him, and they dragged him through the curtain, and Bryce eventually, in the chaos, signed the petition for Evil Kip to be reinstated, but then all of a sudden, again, as Bryce is being attacked, Against All Odds by Phil Collins starts playing, and out comes Evil Kip, and it becomes a tag match, seemingly. Kip gets tagged in, and he and Bryce do a number on both Birds of the Sun. Bryce is looking for a hug, and Kip stops him, and Kip hits a running knee strike. And he eventually scores the pinfall where Bryce Donovan and Evil Kip defeat the Birds of the Sun at 9 minutes, 20 seconds. And then after that, Kip and Bryce do hug in the ring. And I don't know, he's still going to call himself Evil or not. Kip, that is. All right. Then it was time for the fatal four-way matchup as we saw Dirty Bulk Bronson versus Silver Sniper TJ Crawford versus Dante Drago versus the Dominican Destroyer Vargas. Now, initially, Vargas was coming to the ring with General Manager Ariella Nix, but Vargas stops her as if to say, I'll handle this on my own, and then she turns around and goes back to the curtain. Pretty good four-way match these four guys had. And it ended up a lot of, oh, wow. If you haven't seen the replay yet, watch the show on Twitch, folks. But there's not like seeing Creative Pro live compared to watching it on Twitch. As we saw, it ended up, end result, Dante Drago defeated Dirty Bulk Bronson, Silver Sniper TJ Crawford, and the Dominican Destroyer Vargas to become the #1 contender to the Heavyweight Championship. And then, what wound up being the main event was the other semifinal match of the tournament to crown the first ever women's champion, as the Notorious Mimi did battle with the Nomi, Gabby Forza. I have to say, these two ladies were given the ball. Obviously the pressure was on because they went on last. My understanding, Forza did a show earlier in the day somewhere in New Jersey. I don't know if she went on early at that show, and that's pretty much why Forza went on last at this event. I really thought, because the 10-man tag went on just before intermission, I thought the four-way number one contenders match would go on last. But Mimi and Forza really, really gelled, really clicked in there. Boy, this crowd was red hot for this and pretty much this entire show, folks. Mimi and Forza, they go at it. Eventually, Forza hits Mimi with a spear. Gabby Forza defeats the notorious Mimi at 13 minutes, 54 seconds to advance to the final match of the Women's Championship Tournament. As she celebrated the victory, out comes Latina Spice, Nat Castle, Sebastian Amor, and Uzi Sucio. And they're doing a number on her. Sucio and Amor, they bring a door out from under the ring. They set up it in the corner, but out comes Dirty Bulk Bronson to the rescue. And I don't know if Bronson did anything to Castle or not. Maybe she got out of the ring before he could get a hold of her. And he eventually gets, Bronson gets Amor. Man, this show just wasn't Amor's day, shall we say. I mean, he had this Nat Castle Spice accidentally thrown in his face. And then at the end of the night, Bronson gives him a Death Valley driver through that door laying in the corner. And Bronson and Forza stand tall to end quite a great show as they came back to Lynbrook for the first time since September. Personal notes, it was great seeing Joe Carson. Welcome back Sam, who hadn't been to an indie show since like last spring. Nice meeting his girlfriend Lauren. Nice seeing Tommy and Robin. And unfortunately, Jameson was going to join us, but he couldn't make the show. I gotta say, I hope I'm reading this right. Grand Cafe Gelateria. Oh, apologies if I mispronounced that. That's at the corner of Hempstead Avenue and Blake Avenue. En route, after getting off the train, I stopped in there for a brownie and hot chocolate because knowing I had to use the bathroom. I didn't want to stand outside for too long. Definitely a good place to stop. But I couldn't believe so many boxes of cookies positioned all over the place. All right. And also kudos to whoever the owner or the manager of the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook. Looks like they remodeled or restructured the men's bathroom because it wasn't too roomy in the past, but it looks like they did a good job with that. Okay. Well, it was announced that Creative Pro Wrestling returns to the Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New Jersey. I'm sorry, not Lynbrook. Lynbrook, New York. Yeah, I almost said New Jersey for some reason. Lynbrook, New York on Sunday, March 24th, and already announced for that show is none other than former WWE Hardcore Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion, former Impact Wrestling / TNA Tag Team Champion, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and of course, he was the last man to hold both the ECW World Television and World Heavyweight Championships, the Man Beast, the War Machine, Rhino. Okay. Also, for that show, I would like to see Aaron Rourke defend the championship against Dante Drago, since he is the number one contender now. We didn't get to see the tag team. Obviously, the tag titles were not defended by the Adrenaline Express. Well, since the Big O didn't make this event, hopefully he can make March 24th if he's booked. Be interesting to see what happens if Bryce Donovan and Evil Kip are going to be a team from now on, or what the ordeal is with those two. Well, maybe with what happened with Bronson and Forza at the end of the show, maybe the two of them face Nat Castle and Sebastian Amor, or maybe Castle, Amor, and Uzi Sucio against Bronson, Forza, and a partner. Oh, wow. I mean, there's just I can't really. I don't know where they could go with everybody. It seems. I mean, I'm kind of thrown off. But that's the cute good thing about independent wrestling. A lot of unpredictability. Oh, I'm sure all the promoters they always want to stay ahead of the fans, obviously. But Creative Pro Wrestling, I've said this in the past. You got to do a better job of letting the crowd in. You know, the fan, not all the fans are going to stand for this, literally and figuratively. The problem is, you know, guy says, "Oh, doors open at 4 o'clock," and it wasn't until about 4:25 the crowd was finally let in. And also, I don't know if I still wish most promotions who run shows on Sundays would start at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I mean, kudos though, Creative Pro, you got done around 7:30 instead of 8 p.m. Because after the show ended, I walked down to the Taco Bell on Merrick Road for some food. And speaking of food, I still understand this. I can understand because the bar is where that pickup window in the room where the matches are happening is set up. I know there's like a bar right behind there, but over there they have the drinks, and then in another corner they got the food. And I noticed they were selling. They had a little price menu that they were selling pizza, but I'm sure they ordered that from the outside. They had hot dogs, French fries, and chicken nuggets. So it was like I think the pizza was like $3 a slice. I think most pizza places charge like $3 and change for a slice these days. Um, hmm. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention when Evil Kip when Against All Odds started playing. I mean, now that he's I don't know if he's still calling himself evil or not. Um, I was singing Against All Odds by Phil Collins through my megaphone, and I'm still waiting to see. I don't know if we'll get to see it, even though um, doesn't sing anymore. Seemingly, Eric James of the Adrenaline Express and CPA have a karaoke off, or a create a karaoke, or create a pro karaoke. I don't know. We'll call it that, I suppose. You know, because in the past, Eric Young would sing the Backstreet Boys' "I Want It That Way" to the ring instead of having entrance music, but he and VSK currently come to the ring to "Point of No Return" by Expose. Great band. Mm. Mm. Oh, and also I wonder what they're gonna. I mean, I don't know. Are the Birds of the Sun now part of Ariel and Nix's camp? Because you know she has Vargas. She's got QGTM, which is Pat Fitzpatrick and Jay Macias. I forgot who else is part of that group. Let me take a look. Looking back on past shows, who else is in seemingly in that group? Uh, uh, huh. I guess that's it for now. And again, I don't know if the Birds of the Sun are part of Ariel and Nix's group, seemingly. Max Caster was in attendance. He was looked like he was commentating the show because he was positioned right behind where I was sitting. Sierra was in the building. Wow. Wow. I mean, looking back on, we didn't see Zuleika, another female wrestler. We didn't see Jack Tomlinson, who teamed with Dante Drago in Vlogbro University. Uh, and who else was not seen here for this event? Huh. Well, okay, I think that'll do it, folks. Again, Creative Pro Wrestling, you did great, not surprisingly. Again, they return Sunday, March 24th, Knights of Columbus in Lynbrook, New York, with the War Machine, Man Beast, Rhino. CAP, CAP, CAP. Oh, I forgot to mention, great seeing Ryan Peterson, ring announcer extraordinaire. Okay, but yeah, very good. All right. CAP, 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 CAP.